So there's a strong connection between you and an individual, very strong connection. This could be platonic as well, but I really feel like there is just a lot of connection here. Now, this is also about love, focusing on love in your life, okay? Underneath here, wow, the devil. All right, so this is a deep connection that you have with somebody that has that you have karmic ties to, or possibly there could have been I don't think there's a toxic relationship. Maybe there's toxicity in the relationship itself, but nothing between you two. I feel like honestly this is karma. How interesting! Literally two sides of the same coin, and this is what's going on underneath. Capricorn, this is also your card. This talks about power, integrity, finding the integrity in a situation where it looks grim, right? So let's go into this. This is interesting. Already right off the bat. That's really, to me, that's very twin flame type energy. When I see the lovers and the lovers and the devil come up, it's very, very interesting. It's like feeling trapped in a connection, but also seeing the freedom in the connection. Like there is nothing binding you. But in actuality, right, there you may feel trapped, but there's still nothing binding you, right? Now, for your current state of being, you guys have the Ace of Pentacles. So there's a slow beginning happening that's leading to support, security, and stability, okay? Now, the Ace of Pentacles is not like an immediate start. You know it started. This could be a new job. But most importantly, it's just like a starting point. But it's a slow process to be had. It's a slow build up with this. So for you guys, there may be that there is something slow. This may something that's slowing, happening very slowly. But it's getting close, or it's in regards to making progress towards something that's stable and long term. Now, in your outcome, or actually not your outcome, but in your goal where you guys want to be, this is the Knight of Pentacles. So you guys want to feel like you guys are making progress, and you guys also want to really look at the details. I feel like you guys want to come into the situation with an offer that is going to one of value, and two, something that's going to that is offering long-term commitment. I feel like you guys want to commit to someone, or you guys want someone to commit to you. Okay, I really feel like this is ultimately you guys wanting someone to come in and commit to you, or you guys I feel like honestly you want to have an offer so valuable that is anybody, the person that you're trying to offer it to is going to take it, and you feel good about receiving it, about giving it to them, or vice versa, right? So about an offer, somebody wants an offer of commitment, somebody wants to feel committed. I feel like you guys want to see the way through. You guys want to take your time with it. Work hard and make it something stable for you and this individual, especially when it comes to the future, building a relationship, etc. However, the thing that's keeping you from being able to be this Knight of Pentacles is the world. So there is some unfinished business. There is something here that's not quite done yet. Now, the world doesn't, means completion, successful completion. It means that you're done with the situation. Here's the reward of it, right? You feel good about completing this cycle, and you're ready to begin a new one, right? It's that small bit of limbo that you get, but it's not like a bad limbo like that. Like it's not bad. Even Hangman is not bad limbo, but it's that sense of like, okay, it's the quiet before the storm. It's quiet before the new start begins, but you're also ending the cycle at the same time. So it's like that weird feeling of like, ooh, something's going on. Well, the situation's not done. You're not done with the situation. That's why the lovers and the devil came up, because there is there is love, there's a strong connection between you and this individual, but it's not finished, it's not complete yet, because there is still something tying you two together, and it's about seeing the freedom in the connection rather than what is binding you. That's the hard part. Now, the reason why the world is keeping you from the Knight of Pentacles, as I explained here, is because of the Eight of Cups, because there's something that you're not necessarily satisfied with, or there was something that you weren't satisfied with, so you went off to find the happiness, or find what you needed to be satisfied in the first place. So yeah, the lack of satisfaction. This could be you, this could be an individual. Somebody like stepped out of the situation, or looked for another avenue, or just was emotionally done with the situation, emotionally checked out. And I feel like it was mostly checked out for a particular reason, like to get to a place of stability. Maybe there wasn't any sign of commitment or longevity for the relationship at the time. But I feel like the love is still here. You guys are still wanting to be with this individual. It's just that now you guys are wanting to start something new, but the thing that's keeping you from starting something new, starting fresh, is because the situation ain't over. And that's in the weird sense, with the devil coming up and the lovers coming up, I don't think there's a new person at all in your life. Potentially it could be, because you do have the King of Wands here in your advice, but before we get into that, I feel like this has a lot to do with somebody old, somebody that you already know, someone that from the past, and you still feel a strong connection with them. And the reason why the world is coming up and saying it's not over is because you still feel something for this individual. There's something still here emotionally for this person, but you can't go out and get your finger on it because it wasn't really satisfying in the moment. Maybe you know what was not satisfying for you at the time, but it wasn't the relationship. It was probably something regarding the relationship, some circumstances surrounding it. So it could be other things, right? But I feel like the connection that you have here with this individual, someone that's karmically tied, someone that you're karmically tied to, potentially twin flame, that's where the King of Wands is coming up here. When I see King of Wands, the devil, the lovers, if I see if Justice came up, I'd be like, y'all, this is looking very twin flame like, but it's already very twin flame like to me, because you have a fire sign coming up. But I feel like something surrounding the situation wasn't satisfying for you, so you potentially, or you or someone else possibly, left because something wasn't exactly right for you at the time. All right. So the advice here is the King of Wands. So for some of you guys could, I really feel like I wouldn't read this as you, because this would symbolize a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius person, or somebody that you see as someone that's very attractive, someone that's very attractive. Well, not necessarily they're attractive because they attract people to them. Their energy, how they are, their personalities, their authenticity brings people together, brings people to them. They're very popular as well. And I feel like for some reason that the King of Wands is really saying to identify this as your flame, but also know that this person, that you and this person are somewhat the same thing, in a very weird way. But the King of Wands also is talking about taking action. Go ahead and take an action, and not necessarily identify the person. So for those of you that actually know that you're in a twin flame relationship, you might want to follow that advice, for some of you. But for those of you that aren't, you completely discard that. But with the King of Wands, is saying that I feel like with the King of Wands coming up, I feel like it's saying taking action, because the King of Wands, he's very active. He's a very active guy. He knows what he wants, and when he wants something, he goes against it. He does whatever he needs to do to go and get it. That's, that can be a good and bad thing, right? Be very careful about what you do to get what you want. But the King of Wands is saying to go ahead and take the action that you need to make the relationship work, or to come start the relationship, or to get the relationship back, or to end the cycle, or whatever, to completely end this up, so that way you can become the Knight of Pentacles, that you can come in on a horse and be like, or a squirrel apparently, and offer something of value to somebody, or even offer or begin something valuable life developing journey with yourself, right? But so it's going to take action. It's going to require you to act on something. And I feel like that's why this is coming up. Now, with your feelings, you guys have death. So you may have a situation where you're letting go of some old issues, some old pains, and past disappointments, things that hold your space and your emotions to keep you from manifesting in the first place. You have the manifestation card in your hopes of fear, so this kind of goes hand in hand. Whatever you're releasing at this time, or whatever you're doing emotionally, you're releasing at the time, so that way there is space to be rebirthed. Because death is not just death, it's rebirth as well. You're wanting to make space for things to come in. And I feel like right now you are releasing the old pains, you are releasing all disappointments, because now I don't see any animosity. I don't see any hurt. I don't see any devastation. I feel like you're going through a period where you're having to release that, so it brings it up. But you're going to flush it. Okay, it's like a royal flush, and you're going to be squeaky clean, so that things can come in, so that offer could come in, so somebody could come in to offer you love, or you offer someone else love. As I was saying about the hopes and fears being hand in hand. Yeah, you want your manifestation to come true. You want to have your heart's desire become physical, and I feel that's why it's very slow, right? It's a slow beginning. You're trying to make that very thing come to life, but it's going to require you to to release that, honestly, to release the expectations, to release what it is that you necessarily want, right? Because you're always going to want that thing, but it's about where you put the energy towards it, right? How are you going to get there? That's the point. It's good to know what you want, but to get to know how to get there, that's how you manifest. Because you no longer focus on what you want, you focus on how to get there, what you need to do to manifest it into the physical, okay? I feel like also you could fear that you may not be able to get what you want. Maybe that you feel like the time has passed as well, with the world being your crossing, that's blocking your your goal here. But I say have faith, guys. What you want is in your heart, and it's not going anywhere. Now, in your outcome, you do have the Six of Pentacles. So this is about giving and taking, but also making sure it's a good pattern of receiving. And I feel like, honestly, guys, as long as there's a good pattern of give and take, your guys are going to be good. But there may be a sequence where you're having to give to someone, or you may have to receive from someone. But there is a dynamic in regards to balance that's coming up in the future, or coming up in your outcome, that needs to be addressed. This could be that, in the relationship, right? Looking for a proper balance of give and take in the relationship. And potentially, how did she get to this stable place has to do with completing a cycle, possibly where it was imbalanced, and you have to correct that balance. So for some of you guys, the outcome is that you are correcting a balance, or you're readjusting the scales when it comes to this, right? By being active. Now, let me go ahead and pull your Wisdom of the Oracle card for the week. All right. You guys have round and round. So a situation that happens over and over and over again, potentially to show you what you may need to look at. And you may need to break the chain, break the cycle by an action, to be, by some sort of action, a way of thinking, a way of being at the time. So it goes back to the King of Wands, right? And I typically wouldn't read you guys as kings at all, because you guys are not fixed energy. But I feel like it's saying that you may need to be grounded in yourself when it comes to making a decision or an action to break a chain, because there's something that happens over and over and over again. The cycle's not done yet. The cycle's not done yet. It's never done. It's never done. It's constantly going round and round and round and round. There's something that you need to do differently to break yourself out of that chain, to break yourself out of that cycle, and it's going to require you to put some action toward it. So it's not an easy thing. I know it may be a little bit hard to do, but I do think that that's what's potentially keeping you from getting to a place where you guys can really start making progress on, in a direction where it's more stable. For those of you that aren't in a common relationship, potentially that's something as close to serious as like a twin flame relationship. If this could be that you guys were previously in a toxic relationship, or felt like you didn't have a lot of power in your current relationship, but you guys have risen up and you have seen the freedom that you guys actually have in your relationship. But it's all about acting on that realization, to really prove that you haven't developed in a way that can make the relationship prosper. All right, in your whispers of love, you guys have appreciate this moment fully. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. Okay, now I feel like the King of Wands, with the King of Wands' advice, that could really go hand in hand in itself, right? The King of Wands always knows what he wants, and he always goes off and gets it. But he also, I feel like too, that he also, when he gets it, he feels very victorious. He's very happy about the things that he's obtained. And that's, I feel like how far you've come in regards to what you've realized so far is like a good sign, right? Whatever it is that you guys, whatever clicked in you, whatever made sense in your head recently, the epiphany, I feel like that is the part where you must appreciate it. And the King of Wands, he lives day by day, moment by moment. So with appreciate this moment fully, I feel like it's trying to say, hey, go day by day with this. You don't have to worry about focusing on the future so much, focusing on the past. Focus on every day individually, and you guys can really start making a dent in this cycle that doesn't seem to stop happening. Okay? I want the situation to stop happening for you too, because this could be seriously annoying to have something going over and over and over again. It's just going to require you to do something differently than every other time that you've had the situation come up.